right, you see the title? How did I screw up the Twitter story? And boy, did I screw it up. Now, I'm pretty objective, which is, I know, one of the reasons that people like my content. And a big part of that objectivity comes from my analysis in terms of how my mind works. That's professionally what I do. So analysis is what I do. That's how I pay my bills. And it's something that comes naturally to me. So that allows me to see through the noise and figure things out. Also, I don't want to say lack of emotion, but I can certainly have a lot of emotion in certain instances, but my emotions are pretty controlled in terms of, like, it's hard to get me upset, it's hard to offend me. I don't really react very much at all to things that are trivial, right? I consider the relevance of a thing in terms of how I'm going to react to it, right? Some stranger calling me a name is irrelevant. What do I care what they think about me? It has no effect on my life or anything, so who cares, right? In contrast to a lot of people today, in my view, seem to be very emotional, in this country in particular, where people are easily offended and they can get upset easily, and we have all these like traditional things, you know, someone says something about your girlfriend and you gotta be a man and go knock them out or something, or how dare you. And I know it's not all on a man. I mean, it could be like, you may not care to do all that nonsense, but your lady friend, she might care for the show, for the theatrics. But typically I wouldn't be involved with someone like that. But that's, you know, we don't live in a perfect world, so you can't always have exactly what you want. So that is something, well, I'll cross that bridge if I have to, but these things allow me to think more clearly. However, I'm not an android, I'm actually human. I do have feelings. And my feelings about certain things do have an ability, I hope the sound is good, do have an ability to color my perception of things. You know, if every Ford vehicle I drive breaks down on me, naturally the next Ford vehicle I see, I'm going to be skeptical without any specific logic applied to it. Now you may say, of course it's logical to be skeptical of Ford if all the Fords you have been broken down. But see, that's where my sort of assets come into play in terms of my analysis. My analysis abilities allows me to recognize that it's not logical to say that necessarily if every Ford I've driven has broken down, then it's logical to be skeptical about another Ford. Devil's in the details, and this is the details that people miss, and that's what they come to me for, to reveal the details. Like the same way I'm going to pick up on this detail in real time talking to you while driving a stick shift car in traffic and rain, the same way I can do that, this applies to the way I look at politics, right? So what's the issue? I got to qualify the Ford vehicles. What condition were these Ford vehicles that kept breaking down? If all the Ford vehicles I drove had 300,000 miles on them and they all broke down, I'm not going to have a lot of, I'm not going to attribute a lot of that to the brand. I'm going to attribute that to you just been driving crappy cars, not the brand or the model, but they're old cars, right? What if every Ford I've driven has been a Ford, a Ford, every Ford I've driven, so every Ford I've driven has been like an F-150. So I've driven a total of 12 vehicles in my life. They were all Ford F-150s, and every single one of them broke down in the first 3 months of ownership. Again, I'm not going to necessarily think that I should be skeptical towards Ford vehicles. Now, a company that would produce a model, any model that's so bad that I have 100%, major breakdown situation, that doesn't really, that to me reflects on the brand, right? I mean, having a model that they didn't do that well with is one thing, but having a model that's that bad, I don't know, man. I think I give some level of significance in terms of a hit on the brand quality in that scenario. But if they're all a bunch of old vehicles, but again, the point is I gotta qualify the vehicles. I'm not gonna just automatically, have an instinct of like, oh, Fords suck, just based on the fact that all the Fords I drove broke down. I gotta qualify, are there any patterns to the vehicles that I drove other than the fact that they're Ford, right? Regardless, I am human, and my analysis of things can be colored because of the human, I'm not sure the word I'm looking for, handicaps, limitations, for lack of a better word. I'm affected by them, right? My unique way of thinking, which is part of my personality, which is a result of many factors, I'm sure. It helps me, but it doesn't completely shield me to where I'm invincible to any bias at all or any sort of tainting of my lenses based on previous experiences. So case in point, Twitter. In my view, Elon Musk is a clown. I know some people will get caught up in his successes and say, how can I call him a clown? Look what he's done. Look how successful he is. You can't think in absolute terms, right? There are ways that you could be a bit of a clown in many ways, and yet there's something that you're successful at. You could have a guy who's really, really talented at art, really, really passionate about art, who works as a truck driver. Whatever reason, that's their job. Don't really like it. They just do it to pay the bills. They're very unreliable. Their driving sucks, always getting in accidents and stuff like that. Clown, right? In general, social situations, not trustworthy. Always talking big talk. They're gonna do this, and then they don't do it. Just inconsistent, unreliable, all over the place. Immature, clown. But they're really good at art. And they really love art. So in that realm, they are actually very good. If you ask them to paint something for you and they say they're going to do it, you can be guaranteed they're going to do that painting. It's going to be a great painting. It's going to be done on time the way they said it's going to be done, because that's the thing that they're passionate about. That's the thing that they're really into. That's the thing that they're very talented with, right? So if this person decides to branch out and start doing artwork as a business, they can be very successful, make a lot of money, right? And be very well known as a talented artist, right? Make a lot of money doing that. And you look, this guy is making all this money, he's a great artist. How can you say that guy's a clown? Because they're a clown. I mean, as far as an artist, they're great, but otherwise, again, anything other than art, right? Unreliable, inconsistent, all over the place. They have some crazy ideas about things, just very, very immature, right? You wouldn't want to hang out with them. You really wouldn't want to be friends with them, but you would love their art, right? You'd love to hire them to do art, right? So similar to that, I'm sure Elon Musk clearly has his talents, and he had a couple of things going his way, coming from money and other situation, timing, whatever. And the end result is he's made a lot of money, but he's still a bit of a clown, in my view, right? Also, a lot of the so-called journalists who, are reporting on this Twitter files thing. I mean, they showed all the classic signs of propagandists and being dishonest and, virtue signaling and all the stuff that I talk a lot about on my channel. Just right. So these realities have so tainted my perception. I don't have a lot of respect for these guys, right? So the minute I heard about this Twitter thing, that they had this warrant, and I know this is for the Wi-Fi. Hopefully this is good now. So I automatically assumed, I've lost my chain of thought. So it's Twitter stuff. So I assume it's prior to the Elon taking it on, and I was excited about the opportunity to show yet another example of reality versus narrative that's been promoted. So I'm thinking, here's the previous Twitter protecting Trump. And I wasn't thinking that like they were actually like, we got to protect Trump. They were just like, listen, he's one of our users. You guys are coming in asking for his. I should have known better. I should have known better. I gotta admit taking the L on that one. Not saying anything bad about the previous Twitter, but the idea of them, like a corporation, fighting that hard to protect their their users, taking a $350,000 fine. I mean, that's uncharacteristic of a corporation. I think fighting is one thing, but then when the fine comes around, like, okay, yeah, here it is, here you go. But Elon Musk, absolutely, I could see him doing that. And he probably betrayed the agreement and probably told Trump. So Trump probably knew already. So pay attention to how he reacted to it and see if there's any evidence that he already knew. They're supposed to not tell him, but can you see Elon Musk doing the right thing and not telling Elon Musk? I don't think so. I think he probably told him. But regardless, it was Elon Musk's Twitter that fought against this. I'm pretty sure that wasn't a principled thing. Elon Musk has been pandering to the right wing. Trump is the king on the right. He is the leader of the Republican Party. And with all the narratives that he's been aligning himself with, I mean, he'd be a fool to give up Trump, no. And that's a great opportunity for him to like get closer with Trump, which you want that, right? Based on what he's doing. If you're trying to pander to the right wing, you want to be close to Trump. So that'd be a big win if you could, protect the data and then let him know, like, hey man, just want to let you know. Then get a lot of loyalty from Trump, which helps him to, pander to right wingers and all that kind of stuff. So I don't find it surprising that he would have fought. Now, I don't know what he would have done if it was they're trying to get access to Pelosi's Twitter account. Because on one hand, you have the risk of it coming out that you gave up her data. But then would the people you're pandering to really care? Would they be like, oh my goodness, Elon? I mean, well, no, they wouldn't, I don't think. Because look at all the stuff he's done that's opposite of freedom of speech, opposite of all the stuff that people who like him supposedly care about. And I haven't seen him have any major consequences. Momentary, people like, ooh, but ultimately, as long as he keeps virtue signaling, they're like, he's their guy. So, but still, you're taking a chance. I think it's a safe chance because again, there's an inconsistency in this country, right? So people would be like, you know, if you give up Trump's data, like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. You know, you give Pelosi's data, yes, help them to get, you know, we gotta lock her up, right? I'm not sure how he would have dealt with that, but I think any major right winger that the DOJ comes after, because, you know, he's siding himself with that tribe, right? So, you know, you're gonna give up somebody on your tribe, and what are you getting from that? And that fine, $350,000. So anyway, I made a mistake. I screwed up. I'm human. My objectivity has its limits, but recognize, because you have objectivity coupled with integrity, and that is the amazing combination that gets us here, right? So even when I screw up and my bias leads me astray, my integrity won't allow it to stand. So I do the right thing. I deleted my post, which was spreading disinformation or whatever it's called, about this Twitter thing. And on top of that, I post that I made a mistake, and on top of that, I did a video. Like, who does that, right? The thing to do is make a video with wrong information, get called out enough, then you like do something on Twitter and say, hey, I made a mistake, so only a small amount of people see it. Let the video stand and continue to mislead people, right? Anyway, this is the Bateman channel. The Bateman comment section below. Click on the like button, subscribe, smash that bell. Be well, and I'm out.